Hello, Twitch. Holy shit, you would not understand the troubles and journeys we had to get to this point right here.
So many technical difficulties.
Just bizarre little bugs. It was ridiculous.
I mean, bizarre little bugs. The entire electricity on one side of my wall in my apartment just went out. So there's that.
I had to restart my computer in the middle of my graphics card updating because my screen just went black and I wasn't sure what it was doing. So I just fucking risked it all and just hit reset.
Fucking technology, man. So great.
It's great. It makes life so easy. Anyways, welcome to.
But you know what? You know what's not easy?
What's up?
Matt?
What's not
Magic.
Easy? That's
Magic
that
is not
is
easy.
right. Magic is not easy, and let me tell you, it is very real, according to Prestige. so, welcome to our movie discussion show. Working title is called the Nosebleed AV Club. There it is. Got a cool little logo there. If you look closely, there's an N, an A, and a V. So it's like 3 letters.
Oh, shout out to N.A.V, bro.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we are talking the Prestige. Thoughts?
So this was a movie that I've been really wanting to watch this movie forever because I don't know if you own the Pirates of the Caribbean on Blu-ray, but at the beginning of the Blu-ray for Pirates of the Caribbean, they play a trailer for The Prestige. And ever since I've owned that Blu-ray, it's been years, I've like, oh, that movie looks really cool. I should watch that, and I've never watched it.
Yeah, my story with The Prestige is I heard a lot about it when it came out and like in the following years, and of course through Funhouse discussions. And yeah. I've always seen it on like Netflix, just chilling there, right? Mm-hmm. But I never got around to watching it, and the one time that I actually did want to watch it, they took it off. So then I didn't watch it for years. And then you ended up watching it, and then I was like,
I bought it. Yeah.
Sick.
I ended up buying it and watching it and loved it and told you like, yo, this is a movie you need to watch because I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, and then I had the idea for this show as soon as I started streaming, and I downloaded illegally The Prestige a few weeks ago and finally got around to watching it last week, and I fucking loved it. That's a fucking movie, let me tell you.
Dude. Like, I don't think I've ever hated anybody as much as these two magicians, as Christian Bale and...
See, okay, so that's interesting. So you hate both of them equally.
Well, we can both admit that they're both terrible people.
Yeah, they're both kind of shitty people.
They're both really shitty.
Oh,
but
wait, hold on. Are we going into... I mean, we're going into spoilers, right? This is a fucking discussion.
It's like a 20-year-old movie.
Yeah. So, all 3 of them were assholes.
Yeah, are complete assholes. And, like... But the thing is that as unlikable as they are, the complete hate that they have for each other, like, outweighs all of that. It's literally Tiger King before Tiger King. It's Tiger King for magicians.
That is very true. Before we get into what we liked about it, because there's a lot to like, is there anything that you didn't like about the movie?
I do think that, I mean, and I say this not really knowing how else they could have done it, without being too over the top or too on the nose. But, like, I do think that when you're first watching the movie, it is kind of hard to follow the timeline of events.
Okay.
But, you know, it's Christopher Nolan, right? Like, he's a master, filmmaker, and I think the way he ended up doing it was probably the best way you could have done it. I don't see how you could really fix that problem. I will say this, though. My biggest problem with the movie, now that I've been talking, it just came to me, is Michael Caine's voice in the movie. His accent, because there are
is
so
it
many
different
times...
than
No,
it
but
usually is?
there's so mmany times when he's speaking and it's either really soft and really really British or both.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
there were so many times in the movie where I had to rewind it because I couldn't understand or hear what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was missing some very important information, especially when he's in the beginning giving his monologue about like the 3 parts to a magic trick.
Right.
There were parts in there where I was like, what did he say? Like, it just sounds like he's mumbling, you know, and couple that with like a British accent and like the way he kind of softly speaks. It was so hard for me to like
What's up, Janice, by the way?
understand him. Dude, yeah. It's ridiculous. Like I don't have any issues understanding anybody else in the movie except for him.
You know what actually helped me was watching Peaky Blinders, because that's set in like old town like London and shit, like back in the day, and they're really fucking hard to understand. So watching all that the entire series helped me out there. But actually bringing to your kind of adding to your point about like the softness of his voice. One of the major annoyances I had with the movie was, okay, so I watched it on my TV right here, and I had like a Bluetooth speaker underneath, right? So I can hear everything really nicely, right? It's kind of like a ghetto-ass sound bar. But man, the sound leveling in that movie is fucking bonkers, dude. Like,
all over the place.
Dude, it's so... The sound effects are so fucking loud, but the dialogue is so soft.
I honestly think, though, that could just be, like, because that honestly seems to be a problem with most Blu-rays that I watch, or just in general high-definition video. Like, I don't really have that issue with DVDs as much, but when it comes to HD stuff, like, I don't know what it is, but I think it has something to do with, like, the way it's transferred over or transcoded.
Yeah, that could be it.
One thing that I've kind of found to help mitigate the problem, like, and this is totally unrelated to the movie at this point, but like switching your audio from your because I think it defaults to linear PCM to Dolby Digital.
Okay, I'm not sure what I have mine set to, but I'll check that out, because that was my only issue. Well, my main really like issue with the movie is the sound. What's up, Ricky? As far as story go, or like anything within the movie, so a lot of people have issues, or like there's a theory, right? I'm sure you probably read up about it, where like nothing in the movie is actually like magic, right? Everything has a secret behind it. So that includes the big like cloning thing. Which is weird to me, right? Because like people are like, no, like Christopher Nolan did this intentional, grounded movie, so he wasn't actually cloned, blah blah blah, and like you can't trust their perspective. So in the scene where Hugh Jackman's character successfully clones himself for the first time, you're seeing that scene through Christian Bale reading the diary.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay. Did that really happen? So when you watched the movie initially, I guess what I'm getting to is, did you accept the fact that he did clone himself, or did you think...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%. Like, here's the thing. Like, I love the fact that the movie is so grounded, right? Like, there's a trick to every trick. There's an explanation to everything that happens. And everything is designed and engineered. Engineered, as Michael Caine would say. You know, engineered, right? Whatever, however he fucking pronounces it, right?
Right.
So, I love that. And then this is the part where you're either all the way on board and you just accept this movie for everything it is, or you just decide to hop off completely and this is stupid, this ruins the whole movie.
Right.
Is the reveal of that he clones himself, which is, there's no basis in reality. There's nothing, you know, there's no design aspect. Like, it's just straight up magic. Through Nikola Tesla's fucking, you know, like it gets so, like, everything about that is so ridiculous, and yet I love it so much. Everything from the fucking electricity creating a bunch of top hats and cats
Cats.
and Hugh Jackman, and like they have no idea that they've been doing this like this whole time. The amount of time, because here's the thing that like kind of doesn't make sense when you think about it is you have to understand, you have to think that they weren't just doing the same test over and over. If you haven't seen the movie, they basically accidentally, without knowing, create a bunch of top hats because they've been testing the machine on a hat.
Right.
But the thing is that you have to do some tinkering in between. They're not just going to keep doing it. And if they think that if one result didn't yield any results, at least in their mind, they wouldn't do it again without changing something to the machine, right? So how is it that they run all these tests and make all these alterations to the machine in between each and every test, and yet it still provides the same exact results with no failures? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So like you really have to like just either go all the way in and accept that this is now a part of this movie, or don't accept it. But there's just no rationale behind it if you really think about it. But to me, that's what I love about it, because it really ramps the movie up from a simple competition between two magicians that occasionally gets violent to balls to the wall. Like, we're all in now. This is batshit insane and crazy, and people are going to fucking die. Like, the stakes could not be higher when Hugh Jackman is willing to literally kill himself 100 times over just to get the one up on this guy.
So I know a lot of people who kind of try to defend that that theory. They always refer to, going back to Michael Caine's opening like dialogue, right, where he says, "Oh, you won't find out," or like something along the lines of, "You won't figure out the trick because you don't want to know. You want to be tricked," right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a lot of people kind of lean into that, where it's like they're kind of telling you already, you're gonna just accept this and like blah blah blah. But a lot of people point to the end scene of the movie where you see all the tanks, right, of the dead, was it Angel, is that his name?
NGO, yeah.
Yeah, so you see all the dead ones, but you only really see one clearly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were theorizing that, like, okay, he just killed a doppelganger, right? Like Root, the guy that was his double at the beginning. Maybe he somehow, I don't know, worked things out with him, got him back in the act. Who knows, right? I personally don't fuck with that theory, because it's like,
Yeah.
that, I mean, yeah, you have some points, but it doesn't really make sense to me. But since we do agree that, you know, we accept cloning as a part of the movie.
Yeah. Because like he literally there's no need for him to try to even be ambiguous about it. Like, because at the end of the day, you're tricked into thinking that the trick is the cloning part, but that's not even the biggest trick of the whole movie. It's the end when you find out that he's had a twin brother all along, and that he literally did what he was complimenting the fake Asian dude for doing with the fishbowl.
Yeah.
Right? I want to touch on that later on, too, about that, the Chinese magician. But anyway, you know, so, like, that's the real trick of the movie. And honestly, those people that are reading too much into the whole cloning aspect and expecting to get more out of it than what the movie shows you, I kind of think it's just, like, that's just wishful thinking. You know, like...
So, go ahead.
You know, he cloned him. It's a little, you know, it's a kind of a letdown, because you want there to be so much more to it, because this movie is so genius in so many other ways, that when you find out there's like a cop-out part to the movie where that involves literal cloning,
right,
you know, that just does it, there's no explanation for it. It just is a thing that you kind of have to accept. You know, people believe in Christopher Nolan so much that they want there to be so much more to it than just that, but no. The fact of the matter is that the cloning aspect is real, but it's meant as a red herring more than anything, to distract you from the real, actual trick of the movie, which is actually more mundane than anything, you know? So, like, it's nowhere near as fantastical as the cloning, but it hits way harder.
So did you not think that Christian Bale, the other one, was a clone? Did you always believe it was a twin, or did you think Okay, because Tesla does mention that he built the machine before, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So do you think that at an earlier time, Christian Bale might have cloned himself, and then he, instead of trying, because someone on Reddit broke it down pretty
Hmm.
pretty simply, where it's like, okay, Christian Bale didn't necessarily want the glory. He just wanted to
Hmm.
be good at magic. Whereas, and
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's character, he wanted the praise. He wanted that glory.
Yeah.
So obviously he wants to be the one on the stage, right? So of course he's gonna get like, you know, feel like he's missing a part of something when he's down below on the stage and the double's up
Hmm.
top. But Christian Bale didn't give a fuck about that, right? He just wanted people to
Yeah.
be fooled. So maybe he
Yeah.
was like, hey man, like I don't care about the glory, like let's just work this out amongst ourselves or whatever. Because
Yeah.
because like at what point do you go to your twin, right? And go like, hey, I really want to do this act. You're gonna have to cut off your fingers, and like
So
we're gonna live
here,
double lives. Like, at what
here's what I
point, dude?
think.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. To that point, what I think is that no, like they did. He's not a clone. He is his brother because they hint at him having the brother so much early on in the movie before the thought of like him going to Tesla was even an idea when they mixed up the knot tying and he ends up killing Borden's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even remember if I'm getting like well, let's just say Hugh Jackman's wife because I don't remember which one's Borden
Uh,
and which one's Angler.
yeah. Angel is Hugh Jackman.
And Jill.
Borden is Hugh. No, sorry,
Okay.
Christian Bale. And then
Okay,
like
so
the other name, Alfred. I forget, Alfred or whatever. I forget what they call him.
yeah, so Batman and Wolverine. So
Yes.
so Batman kills Wolverine's wife
Correct.
early on, and like it's all because he's been practicing this trick for even before the movie starts. He's been thinking about it, and I think when they kill Hugh Jackman's wife, that's the moment where he finally decides, okay, like we need to commit to this because at this point we're at the point of no return because we've already now had a mix-up on our part because I don't know what fucking knot you tied, and that's the story I kind of have to stick with, because I can't let it be known that somebody else tied the knot. That is my twin brother. So at that point, to me, for them, that was the point of no return. It was like, okay, we're just going to fully now commit to this trick.
So Janice just wrote about the little boy. So when Borden was doing that magic show on his own, and he did, or when he was like the stagehand for that guy, and the guy killed the bird.
Yeah.
There's a little kid that asked what happened to his brother. For me,
Yeah.
I was thinking that was just in reference to the bird, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
because the kid obviously knew he fucking he fucking killed the
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they did hint at it a little bit, yeah, that they were already kind of working on it. I actually didn't even think of that. I just thought I couldn't really pinpoint when they decided to do this, So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But
Can I?
to that point, though, about the rope, don't you think he would have asked the guy, which knot did you fucking tie?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
so
you would
huge. Like,
You would think. And that fixes everything. Hugh Jackman can rest easy knowing that Borden wasn't not he tied, and then just move on with his life because that's what drives him to the breaking point. Is the fact that this man just killed my wife, and he has the gall to not even remember how he did it.
But it's weird though. Why do you think his wife even nodded to the different knot?
Yeah, because she wants to be a top level, magician too, and she wants to be able to escape from a tougher knot. And also, I guess the other knot is more secure because they're scared of her falling before she even gets a chance to drop into the tank. That's what he was complaining about, is that it wasn't a secure enough knot.
Right.
But here's my thing too, is that in the same breath where Christian Bale's character could have just talked to his brother and figured out what fucking knot he had, there's literally two options here, Hugh Jackman, as to what fucking knot he tied. And if the knot that he's been tying all along has been working just fine, and now this time where he doesn't know what knot he tied is the time that it didn't work. What do you think the knot is? Like, do you really need to ask him and go batshit crazy over what fucking knot he tied? You know what fucking knot he tied.
Also, why would they even consider different knots if they're doing the same trick over? Why would you even? Yeah, let's switch it up. There's literally no payoff to the audience if you switch the knot to a difficult knot and you get out of it. It's the same fucking thing. You're still underneath the curtain. No one sees that shit.
To a magician, especially to magicians that like are like super anal about their craft, it's the same thing as like a skateboarder, right? Who like now there's more of in skateboarding, there's more of a push for style and cleanness to your tricks as opposed to technicality, right? So here we have,
right.
Like, so in this sense, it's like the opposite, right? Where like, okay, you have the clean trick, but now I want something more technical. It's the opposite, but it's the same concept, right? Of like one idea of how to do the trick is more valued than the other.
Right, but
which
in
I can understand.
In skateboarding, right, your audience is skateboarders, right? And
yeah,
they're gonna know, oh yeah, the way he flicked his foot right there, super difficult. The audience is gonna be like,
okay,
oh,
but to your point though, they both watch the fake Chinese guy do a magic trick, and they both get super hard to that. Like, they love it. So I think they want the same thing from their fellow peers too. Yeah, like, they were super into it, you know?
But how do they... Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a plot hole.
Can I say this too?
Go ahead.
To this point, it's funny because they paint Christian Bale's character to be so anal about the trick, and like the master of the trick, and like
what's up,
he wants better tricks. He wants to do tricks that amaze the crowd.
Right.
Yet how many fucking times do they show him doing that
ring
trick? Like the same trick that some jackass at a house party does.
Right, yeah, that too bothered me. Like
you're so anal about doing this crazy trick that no one's ever seen before, and yet you're doing some shit that a guy in San Francisco in the fucking Pier 39
not even there
at
the fucking mall
every day, bro. Like, are you joking?
So like you can argue, right? And this will get debunked immediately. But you can argue that it was like, okay, he's building up to the trick, right? He's a showman. Yeah. But Scarlett Johansson literally says, you can't perform for shit. So I don't think that's his mindset. So yes, you're right. That's fucking, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I forgot what led us to that. But yeah,
what prompted the switch between Christian Bale and his brothers?
This whole movie is a lesson in fucking communication. I swear to God.
Like, just talk to your fellow man and things will be okay. But the more you just keep things bottled up, and like, it's talking to his peer in, you know, in fellow magician, it's talking to his goddamn wife.
Yes.
It's talking to
yes.
Like, his goddamn child, his brother, his butler, freaking Injir.
So Ricky says it's the build-up. Rick, when you watch the movie, Ricky, it's great. You fucking love every minute of it. It's just after you've experienced it and you start to digest it, you think, why didn't they just do this? And it's a movie, but
it's still so good, though.
I love this movie. Despite these what sound like glaring plot holes and just dumb decisions, it is still really good.
Like, The Dark Knight aside, this is probably my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I love this movie because, like, I'm just a sucker for like this kind of time. You know, I've always been intrigued by old magic, like not new magic. You know, like
Chris Angel. You know, he fixed your mind, man.
no Chris Angel, no David
What?
Copperfield, none of that. Like, I've always been intrigued by like things like Houdini and shit, because like this is like some real sketchy, scary, like almost like daunting shit where like
Especially
you're
back
dealing.
in those days.
Yeah, you're dealing with some janky. You're dealing with some janky ass shit. It's olden times, so people are more susceptible to like being tricked and fooled. Like things were a lot more mechanical.
Ricky.
You know, like fucking cool as fuck.
You
You
know what
know,
doesn't
like
make sense though? At what point between the Salem witch trials and magicians were people like, oh, this is cool?
this is cool now. Yeah,
We're good with this.
as long as
What
as long as,
changed?
you know, as long it's what the fucking 20s, whatever,
Yeah.
the early 1900s. As long as they weren't women, right? Like that just seems to be where they're at. If it's a woman doing it, she's a fucking witch.
God damn.
If it's too crazy batshit out of their mind men, they're just magicians being magicians.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Who cares?
Oh my
They
god.
can vote. They can vote.
Speaking of which, Ricky just mentioned David Bowie was freaking his mind. And to that, I have to say, wow, what a fucking cast in this movie.
Dude, David Bowie as Nikola Tesla is the most ridiculous yet best thing.
Dude,
in
it
this
was
movie.
like, it was perfect. Like, it was so good.
He's so great.
Fucking seeing Andy Serkis as a human being. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Not CG.
Not CG. It was
It's
amazing.
really cool. And like that's the cool thing I love about this movie too, is that it draws from a lot of like, I mean, obviously it draws from real life during those times. And like obviously the stuff with like the cloning machine and stuff isn't real, but when
As far as we know.
But when he takes Hugh Jackman out to the snowfield to like show him what Tesla's been working on with like the light bulbs and stuff, and being able to transfer electricity basically through the ground without any wiring. Like I looked into it a little bit, and apparently Tesla was working on stuff like that, where he was trying to figure out how to distribute electricity through the air. Kind of like how Wi-Fi works now for us.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, like I think that's really cool that they kind of touch on that and then kind of shift it to like what if what Tesla was doing was for magic, you know? And like another cool thing that I found about the movie was, okay, so back to the fake Chinese guy who they don't mention is a fake Chinese guy, but I don't remember what his name was, but the name of the Chinese magician in the movie, if you look it up, is an actual real magician who was actually a white guy pretending to be Chinese. And this is great. Listen, this is where it gets really good. He committed to speaking entirely in broken English with a Chinese accent and changing his name for his whole life and his whole career. Because of his dedication to the trick. And also, guess what? He had a rival magician that he was beefing with who was an actual Chinese magician. Yes. Oh my god, bro.
Amazing.
This shit is fucking crazy. And the best part is that fake Chinese magician guy in real life dies because he attempts to do a bullet catch, and it gets better.
So many references. Amazing.
As he's dying, his last words, which by the way were his first time speaking English in public in like the last 20 something years or something like that, was, "I've made a mistake." I can't make this shit up. It's fucking amazing.
Wait, so the Chinese magician in this movie is fake Chinese?
In real life, they don't ever touch on it in the movie.
Not in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, you're just led to believe that he's actually a Chinese magician. In real life, the magician that existed during those times that magician was based off of and named after was actually a white dude.
What was his real name?
It was like God. It was like some like super like
Saxon ass name.
Shit. Yeah, I can look it up real quick. But yeah, learning that, it was like, oh my God, this is fucking wild.
Okay, while we're on the topic of, okay, go ahead.
So real quick, the magician's name. Okay, hold on. No, this is the real magician guy. The real Chinese magician was Qing Ling Fu.
Qing Ling, that sounds fake as fuck.
Okay. So it's William Robinson was the fake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Qing Ling Su is what he called himself, right? So the real guy is Qing Ling Fu, and the white dude William Robinson, he called himself Chung Ling Su, and I think that's who's in the movie.
It's funny, Janice Qing Ling. It's just fuck. Okay, so while we're on the topic of, you know, fake people or whatever, so there's a scene, the first scene that kind of hints that there's twins, right? Is when Borden has that date with his wife, and then she goes home.
That's so creepy.
She goes home. He's walking away. She opens the door. He's already inside. Did she fucking know there was two of them? Or did
I think she really genuinely believed in the magic of it, you know?
You think?
Like, yeah, but I mean, keep in mind, like, how creepy it is that this guy's just waiting in the room with tea in hand.
What I'm saying.
Chilling. Like, any second now, she's gonna come to the door. Man, this tea's getting cold. She better hurry.
Like, because again, she like, you know, asks, you know, every now and then, like, do you mean it when you say you love me this time, or whatever, you mean it today? So I wonder if at some point she knew, but like she just kind of, it was like Stockholm syndrome where she just kind of accepted.
She definitely. It's so good. I love this part about the movie. So for people that haven't seen it, essentially what's happening is there's a magician who's so committed to the illusion of him being able to do this transporting man trick that him and his brother basically switch off from playing both himself and his assistant, and nobody is none the wiser. You know, so he's basically living a double life where sometimes sometimes this magician is himself, and then sometimes it's his brother, his twin brother, playing him, and they're basically just switching the same life. And his wife, the girl that he marries, has like a line that she repeats throughout the movie where she says, "Sometimes I can tell when you really mean it when you say I love you, and today you mean it, and then sometimes you don't mean it." And that's basically that's basically the movie's way of telling you that when he does mean it, that's the guy that she actually fell in love with, that was in love with her. And when he doesn't mean it, it's the brother who doesn't really love her, that's faking it for the marriage's sake and actually loves another woman, Scarlett Johansson's character. Like, oh, it's so good.
So, going to that, Scarlett Johansson's character, right? So, Christian Bale has a daughter, right? With his wife. Okay, but tell me why the daughter was blonde. Scarlett Johansson's blonde. The mom's not blonde. So, is it that girl's daughter? I mean, it obviously is, because why wouldn't it be? The movie.
Yeah, he didn't meet Scarlett Johansson until years later.
There's no reason to believe that that baby is not the wife's, but she's fucking blonde, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, poor casting. I don't know, or maybe the wife has some explaining to do. I don't know.
Who knows, right?
Who knows, right? But like,
get out of here with your science, guys. All right, I want the drama.
Everybody has fucking secrets, right, in this movie.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, it's just, like, insane, like, the levels of, like, and this is obviously before Inception, but the levels of Inception that happen in this movie where you don't know what's happening and who's on whose side.
So, actually, what I actually really got a kick out of in this movie is the whole back and forth, right? When they sabotage each other.
So
However,
good.
it's like I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it was. What is your
Well,
like? Was it
let me.
intentionally like? Was it unintentionally funny, or was it like?
I was so engrossed in the movie that I thought it was really cool. Like, two magicians, not wizards, have you battling it out against each other in the only way that magicians can, which is sabotaging each other's shows. And what I think is the best part and the most funny part about this movie, and again, to what you were telling to Ricky about, like, when you really sit down and think about the movie, it doesn't make any fucking sense. The fact that they manage every time to pick each other when they pick people out of the crowd, they
However,
pick each other in disguise.
Who knows? Maybe that wasn't their first time being there. Maybe they went a few times and finally got picked.
I know, but it's just so ridiculous because it's not like the movie elaborates on that. So you're just led to believe that every time they go to a show in disguise, they end up getting picked. And you would think that they would just tell their assistants, "Hey, don't pick any white males about this tall, about this age group. Like, maybe just stick to maybe stick to women, maybe stick to older men, maybe stick to young boys, like anybody but middle-aged white man in this age group, because there's a possibility it could be my fucking arch nemesis trying to kill me."
Yeah, like,
just an idea.
Mind you, the disguises weren't even that great.
They're Party City mustaches and sideburns.
They were not.
Like,
like, if you got close enough to them, you should be able to tell. Oh yeah, you're trying to pull some shit right now, Christian Bale, with your fucking mustache. That being said, did you have a favorite disguise?
fucking what's the fucking brother's the name? Him. Fucking
Christian Bale's brother?
Yeah, what was his disguise name?
Freddy?
Is it Freddy?
Because his name is Alfred, right? So I believe like a hint that there was two different ones was that each girl called them different names. So one was called Alfred. And
no, but what was the Ingier's when they were playing the Ingier character? What's his name?
So the other guy was Root. Root was Angier's double.
No. The Ingier, the engineer. When he's playing, when Christian Bale's brother, like there's Christian Bale's character, right? And then there's his twin brother that's disguised as that.
Oh, Fallon, yeah.
Fallon, yeah. Fallon. That's my favorite disguise.
So just think, a way that you can remember that is Fallon. So he's the fake fucking Christian Bale, right? Just like Jimmy Fallon is fake funny and fake in all his reactions. Fallon.
Fired.
There you go.
There you go.
Right into your two fingers. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah, that's my favorite disguise because it's literally, it looks
fucking terrible.
It's Christian Bale if he was like Dr. Eggman from Sonic mixed with fucking
Ebenezer Scrooge.
The Monopoly Man.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible.
It's such a ridiculous
and
look.
His face is all bloated.
Even for that time, I had a hard time believing that there's somebody that looks like that.
Yeah, he was.
Looks real.
He just looked super fake.
Yeah.
That being said, though, speaking of like not being convinced, it was really hard for me to not see Bruce Wayne sometimes because Christian Bale's hair was just short and he was just talking normally sometimes.
He has the exact same hair that he does in Batman Begins because, oh wait, this movie was literally shot like months before Batman Begins. And it has like between him and Alfred, like Michael Caine being in the movie, it's like.
Oh, Ricky just made a good point that Fallon was early development for Christian Bale becoming Dick Cheney for his role.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right
100%.
for sure. But yeah, like that being said, I want more. I don't know if it's just because I miss or I just want more Christopher Nolan Batman, but I just want Michael Caine and Christian Bale in more movies together.
They are they are a good team. What did you think of the whole diary part?
I think that was my favorite form of pettiness because it's like
if you're reading this,
got your ass,
got you. It's too late.
Bitch, you thought.
I'm not dead. Twice. And then the fact that these men write in their diary so much.
The fact that they write everything in their diary.
And they go so far as to encode their diaries with secret fake codes that aren't even real. And it's all meant to just deceive the other magicians because he anticipated that he would steal his diary. There's so many levels to this movie.
Like, first of all, like, how do you even think to steal the diary? Like, how do you know in there that's all the secrets? How do you know he's just not writing about his fucking day?
Let's talk about the first deception. With
or does it say, like, magic book right on the cover?
Like, fucking Christian Bale, bro. Like, how do you go so far to predict that he would send his girlfriend over to you to then for you to send to her, for her to steal, for him to come up with the idea to steal the diary and then give it back to you, but then he
anticipated that she would fall in love with him.
Anticipated that she wouldn't give it to him, but she does because fuck Hugh Jackman. I don't love him anymore. And then that he would then steal it back and then have to decode it. Like, you need to have like a diagram in red string
for
the
real
whole time you're watching this movie because the amount of times it like leaps in like logic is insane, but somehow it makes sense and it's fucking hilarious and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the back and forth, I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it fucking was.
Okay, real quick. I don't know if it's going to be real quick, but
okay.
So the whole movie revolves basically around this one trick.
Right.
That is the greatest trick that any magician's ever seen, and it is the trick that they basically go back and forth over trying to figure out from, like, basically Christian Bale's character creates this magic trick that Hugh Jackman thinks is just completely impossible. There's no way he could pull off this trick, but he is. How does he do it? And the whole movie basically revolves around Hugh Jackman trying to figure out how he does the trick, and in between that all, they basically fuck each other over, right? So, what did you think about the actual trick, the transporting man trick, where Christian Bale's version is essentially he bounces a ball across the stage, goes into a door, and then appears on another door across the stage to catch the ball that he bounced?
Okay.
What do you think about it? Which version
I like better? Christian Bale's. Christian Bale's.
Really?
Yes, because Christian Bale's, it's like, obviously we as an audience in this day and age knew what was going to happen, right? Of course he's going to come out the next door. But he pulled it off so smoothly. It just looked great, right? The timing was perfect. The whole, you have to catch the ball in time to make it convincing, or like, just that extra oomph, right? Fucking Hugh Jackman's whole like grandiose like presentation, for me, it wasn't as effective because there was too much of a delay between him disappearing and him reappearing. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't immediate. Like, sure, he appeared like up top, but that doesn't really like
See,
what.
I within the context of the movie, I love that though because it goes to show just how impossible Christian Bale's trick was and why it drove Hugh Jackman crazy
Mm-hmm.
because there is no delay between him closing the door and opening the other door and grabbing the ball.
Yeah.
Like, it is seamless. Whereas I love the idea of Hugh Jackman's trick. I almost said joke.
It's kind of a
I
joke.
love the idea.
It's kind of a joke.
I love the idea of Hugh Jackman's trick because it looks aesthetically it looks really cool. Like I love the idea of the sideways doors and opening it that way because it's literally a door into nothing that the whole audience can see. It's not like it's a closet like what Christian Bale was going in and out of. Like it's a sideways door that opens up, drops him to the stage below, and then the double for Hugh Jackman's magician character is on a lift going up and opens his door and catches a hat that he throws in the air. Like it looks when you see the full trick executed, the one time in the movie, it looks really cool. But you're right, there's a longer delay obviously because there has to be allow for time for both Hugh Jackman to fall and his double to rise up and open the door and catch the hat. So I think that's what makes it even more ingenious because you can kind of see how Hugh Jackman would be driven crazy by the notion of this trick that he deems impossible. And even when he is able to pull off the trick in a way that can be explained, it still has a slight hiccup in it that if you're like a magician that like notices these things, you would notice that like, oh, he's able to do it faster though. Like you go a longer distance, but he can do it faster. And because he could do it faster, there's less room to kind of explain how he does it.
Right, exactly.
Whereas the more time you have in between you appearing, disappearing, and reappearing, there's all kinds of things that can be explained. You know, and I love that. That it's genius.
Oh, speaking of like trying to explain the tricks, I actually have to use the restroom, so I'm gonna bounce real quick. But I want to ask you about the bird trick and your thoughts on it. So I'll be right back. Entertain the chat. Chat. Say something that Austin can read and keep himself busy with. I'll be back.
Oh, I can't even see the chat. Hold on. Let me.
Ricky said murder.
Murder. How do I? Okay, I'm gonna read jokes while he's away. A man walks into a sperm bank. The doctor says, "Would you get a load of this guy?" I can't hear if you guys are laughing or not, so I'll just assume that you are. Fun fact, Australia's biggest export is boomerangs. It's also their biggest import. Can't tell. Okay. Oh, I can't read that. How about... I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes. Now I have hindsight.
Wow. Wow.
I can't read the chat. What are the reactions to the joke?
None yet.
Okay. Alright.
I'll let you know if someone says anything.
Okay, but... I have one more before we continue.
Alright.
Robin said to Batman, "The Batmobile isn't starting." Batman said, Did you charge the battery?" Robin said, "What the hell is the Terry?"
Are we just reading off dad jokes now?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, I have one that is appropriate for our current topic.
All right, hit me with it.
What do you call a magician that lost his magic?
Ian.
Exactly.
What, what do you call a magician that's lost their wife to a drowning accident on stage? Algier.
Angeal.
And whatever. Whatever.
Anyways,
I get Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. I don't know their names.
so going back to tricks and like how they pull them off, that fucking elaborate ass robot crank steampunk suit that fucking Michael Caine put on Angel to make a bird disappear. How was that even supposed to fucking work?
Well, that's what because they make a big deal because anytime they do the bird disappearing,
they kill them.
It's revealed that they kill the bird.
Right.
So they made it a point to also show that doing the trick this way saves the bird and it doesn't have to die, and it actually like gets fucking yanked and pulled at 100 miles per hour somewhere behind his back.
Yeah,
and they're able.
I didn't understand it. I was like, what the?
Like, also, there's no way the technology during that time isn't good enough to where it could still fool the human eye and people wouldn't be able to see shit literally folding and going into his suit.
Or
like,
even,
there's no way the machine...
Or even
machine's
just
fast enough.
Or even just fucking hear it. I'm assuming that thing is loud as shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was loud when he was cranking it. Also, like, let's just say he pulls off that trick, right? Does he just walk off the stage immediately and go to the next trick? Or I'm assuming there's some, like, transition, right? So is he still doing some tricks while wearing that fucking Iron Man suit?
So he literally does this. He's like, all right, I'm going to make this bird disappear. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
All right, birds disappeared. Now I am off to prepare for my next trick.
And how's that thing not bulge out of his fucking suit jacket? And even his fucking, like, it doesn't make any sense. When I saw that, I was like, I don't understand this.
How does it not shred his fucking suit into pieces with, like, how many gears and wires and, like, sharp, like, metal points are, like, going through that suit? Like, it's insane. And, like, it's such a huge build-up for such little payoff, in my opinion. Like, to me, that trick could have been a little bit better. Like, whatever the trick is that, like, ruined Hugh Jackman's, like, on-stage performance career, I felt like it could have been a better trick. Because, like, I don't know. It just seemed really elaborate for no reason.
Yeah. But I just love how Christian Bale's character sabotaged that one.
He literally just crushes the cage and breaks this woman's hand.
I love how he wasn't like pursued or anything. He was able to just leave. Just walked off.
That's another thing too. Like, how do these people get away with it? Like, Hugh Jackman literally walks into a bar and shoots Christian Bale's fingers off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does this happen? You know?
Yeah. What a great movie. It sounds like we're shitting on it, but honestly, I have nothing but praise for that movie.
It's so good and so fun. So, okay, so what did you think of the whole idea of Hugh Jackman's character? So basically what happens in the movie is he has a machine that can clone himself, but he is so freaked out by the notion that it creates a clone of him that he shoots and kills his clone. And then that gives him the idea to one-up Christian Bale's transporting man trick by literally cloning himself and drowning his clone and then appearing from like hella far away and like, ta-da, the best version of this trick that you've already seen like 10,000 times.
Can we talk about how he was able to hire blind stagehands?
Genius. Like, how did they even respond to the job listing? Like,
How do they even know where to like do anything, where to stand? Like, and how did he find so many of them? Actually, my first thought was actually more morbid, and I was like, "Oh shit,
he cloned them.
No, I was like, "Oh shit, he blinded all those stages." Because at that point, you see him like do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's already
no, he's
off the rails.
He's completely off the rails. So let me ask you this though. So I saw this theory online after watching this movie, and I thought it was really cool. And it was the theory of like they're so completely polar opposites that you have Christopher Bale's character who is willing to commit to the trick so hard that him and his brother are living a double life as one person, and so hard that he's willing to cut off his fingers because his brother lost his finger playing him as a magician, getting shot in the hand by fucking Hugh Jackman. Like, they're so committed to the trick that they're willing to go to these lengths. Whereas Hugh Jackman's character was so disturbed and traumatized at the idea of another him existing that he didn't even hesitate to pick up a gun and shoot it the minute that clone stepped out and was like, wait. Oh, shit.
Wait, so actually, just touching on that point, and Ricky commenting on your comment, I don't think he actually blinded. Like, that was my first thought, was that he blinded all those people, but I don't think he actually did. But going back to the the clone, the first time he clones himself, people were speculating that the clone actually shoots Hugh Jackman, or like the original, because he's like, oh no, wait, and if you notice, all the cats and the hats are all in a different location than the actual cats in the hat.
The cats in the hat
are all in a different location from the machine.
So it was a really weird part of the movie when Michael Myers, the cat in the hat, came in and shot everybody.
That was actually my favorite part. But yeah, like so there's a, I think it
so the only thing that makes me not believe in that theory is that when they clone the hat and when they clone the cat and then they create the clone somewhere else, but the original item is still in the same spot. So when Hugh Jackman steps into the machine to test it out himself, and his clone appears, he's in the same spot. He's still in the machine, and the clone appears somewhere. It materializes somewhere else. So I do think that it's the original Hugh Jackman that shoots the clone.
Okay,
but I do think from that point on, when he starts doing the trick on stage, it is the original Hugh Jackman every time, dropping into the tank and dying. Now, but I will say this, though. To your point, they do allude to possibly your consciousness being transported to the other body, because Hugh Jackman has that line where he's basically venting to Christian Bale's character as he's dying, that every time I step on that stage, I don't know if I'm the man in the balcony or if I'm the man in the tank.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's whether or not that's him wrestling with the idea that he is going to die, and he's just like projecting his future life onto the clone that's about to appear, or if they're hinting at the possibility that your consciousness travels to the other body.
So that's,
who knows?
That's my understanding, is that the copy is an exact copy down to the memories and the consciousness. And to Ricky, because Ricky asked, oh, would the clone keep the vendetta against Christian Bale? And he did, because he set him up.
Did.
So yes, I do believe that it's an exact copy with the consciousness and the memories. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the movie, though, what was I gonna say? It is a clone, though. Like, right?
Yeah,
You on board with that? Yeah, so am I.
yeah,
For sure.
100%. Like they're all like every time he dies, it's the original, the now original dying, and every time it's a new clone being created and taking over from there. Because, like you said, they have all the same memories and experiences up until that point.
Right. So yeah, that is what a great movie.
It's
Um,
fucking wild, dude. So good, and like such a cool like twist. I mean, yeah, because like, did you know that that was gonna be like the twist before you watched the movie?
no, not exactly. Just
Okay.
because I've heard Funhouse discuss this movie a bunch of times, and you know, they obviously brought up the whole clone notion, right? So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at some point there is gonna be a clone, and the reason why I asked you if you thought Christian Bale cloned himself prior was because
Mm-hmm.
that's initially after watching the movie what I thought. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he cloned himself, and these are two clones working together. And then not until I started like reading more discussions, like, oh, it was a twin, like, duh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like, yeah. Um, so yeah, so
Which it makes the movie so much more genius because we go on the whole wild ride, even
yeah,
though Michael Caine's character tells him right off the bat, I know how the trick's done. It is impossible to do it any other way other than a double. And it's
hmm.
so good because it is really just that simple.
But I did start noticing, like, yeah, they're like one of the Bale twins had like a scar on his brow that I would
Mm-hmm.
notice. I'd be like, okay, when did he get that? I'm pretty sure, you know, that's the clone or whatever. Um, so like, yeah, the actual twist of there being twins, that wasn't spoiled for me, which I appreciated. Like, I love that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh
Yeah.
shit, like I thought I knew, but I really didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a cool little misdirection. Um, man, what else is there to say about this movie? Um,
What was your favorite part about it?
uh, the pettiness, and honestly, like my favorite one was when he fucking hung Hugh Jackman's character and was like, "My show's across the street. Let's go." That was like,
So
fuck.
good.
He got his ass. Like,
So good.
damn. Would you?
My favorite part.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
My favorite part was definitely the diaries. Like when they're reading the diaries and they both basically get fooled by
Yeah.
the other person. Like, okay, let me ask you this though. Do you think Hugh Jackman's character was justified in what he did?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Where he
No.
literally
Mm-mm.
he literally frames Christian Bale for murder
Takes his
and
daughter.
then takes this man's daughter
Yeah, no. Not
to make
not
to
even
make his
remotely.
lord.
Like, yes, they were both kind of dicks, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's a clear villain and a clear like hero in this movie. Like, I will take Christian Bale's side 100% of the time over fucking Hugh Jackman. Like,
Who do you
dude,
which Christian Bale do you think was the one that ended up living?
I
Do
think
you do
it's
you think it's the one that actually that loved
the wife.
the wife, or do you think it was the one that loved Scarlett Johansson?
I think it was the one that loved the wife.
I
Um,
like to hope so too.
because what makes me think that is in their interactions when she would visit him at the jail, it didn't really feel genuine until the end when he knew he was gonna die.
Yeah,
You know, he was kind of
yeah,
dismissive. He's like, "Oh, keep talking about your day," when he's trying to like talk about the other guy. And then there's a scene where he's on trial and she's up top on the balcony and he just kind of like
yeah, yeah,
does that. You know what I mean? That's just kind of like a hey. It's not like
yeah,
a father's like, you know, they'd probably be
yeah.
fixated on their kid.
Yeah.
So that's
well, also that brings up another interesting point, though. Is like if both brothers were sleeping with the same woman, how do they know whose baby that one is?
Maybe they didn't sleep together every night. Maybe it's like, bro, she wants to bone tonight. I'm not really in her. I'm gonna tag you in.
No, I definitely think for the trick they were willing to go that far because these men were committed, and if she was in the mood or whatever, and it just happened to be the brother that didn't love her that was playing the part. What are you like? You gotta keep it up.
I mean,
you have to.
The daughter's blonde. That's all I got to say. Scarlett Johansson's blonde. But yeah, I think it's the father, the actual father.
Yeah. I do agree with you, like with the way he reacts to when he sees her too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when after fucking Hugh Jackman's dead, and he's reunited with his daughter.
Yeah,
he does seem genuinely like happy and everything. It's not like fake or anything.
Yeah.
Like it does feel like that is his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like you said, the other Christian Bale was more or less like, I just have to do this. It's a job. Clock in, clock out. You feel me?
What did you think about Tesla's whole arc, though? Do you think he was fucking with Angel? Or, like, what? I couldn't really understand his deal throughout the movie.
Yeah, I do think that he really wanted to genuinely help Angel.
Mm-hmm.
One, because he really, Tesla was notorious for trying to push limitations and whatnot, and this was just, again, another opportunity to do that off of somebody else's dime. And two, like, I think he did resonate with Angel, like, a lot. Like, he saw a lot of himself in him, and that's because they have that moment together where they're like, I know how dangerous it is to not tell a man no when they're determined to do something, and Jill's like, well, then you should know that even if you tell me no, I'm like, that's not going to stop me. So, and like, they both like connected to that moment. They're like, oh shit, we're bros.
Oh, something I kind of didn't understand was, Christian Bale's character reveals that his key to his diary was Tesla. But if Tesla didn't actually make him a machine, why would he put that, and then why would Hugh Jackman pursue that?
It just goes to show how ridiculous the diary is because there's so many things that have to go right in order for it to pay off to happen. Christian Bale, again, let me spell this out for people. Christian Bale had to not only write in his diary in a fake code that he made up using Tesla's name as the encryption, as the key to the code, thinking that one, Hugh Jackman had followed him to that World's Fair thing and seen him going to Tesla's show. Two, again, have the whole interaction where the diary is stolen and returned and stolen again by the girlfriend, yada, yada, yada. And then three, assume that Tesla being the code would mean that Tesla is... There's so many layers.
It's ridiculous.
Why this doesn't make any sense, because there's just too many predictions that have to go right in order for this whole thing to work. And it does, because movie fucking magic. That's the real magic of the movie, is the movie magic.
Real quick, Ricky, did you end up watching it? Because you kind of know a bit about it, and I literally just told you 3 hours ago that we were going to do this about this movie. So I'm just curious. You watched it? Where'd you find it? Or did you like pay like Amazon streaming? That was quick, dude. I like that. Clutch.
Did you like it?
Ricky, did you like it? Amazon. Makes sense. Did you like it though, Ricky? Okay, but besides David Bowie.
My favorite part too is that Christian Bale's like, I fooled you. Tesla had nothing to do with my trick. enjoy Colorado.
Enjoy the snow.
This man sent him all the way to America. Right, because they're in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy, dude. So good though, so fucking brilliant.
Oh,
also, I'm pretty sure that the jail that Christian Bale was locked in is the same jail that Christian Bale was locked in the beginning of Batman Begins. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, they fucking saved money on that set, probably.
Yeah.
So something that I kind of liked was how they mirrored their wives' deaths, which was pretty cool. Obviously, Christian Bale got hung just like his wife hung herself, and then Hugh Jackman drowned just like his wife drowned. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even realize that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool little like bookend to these people.
So what happens when everybody saw and knows that Christian Bale is dead, but then they see Christian Bale alive?
He's gonna wear that ugly ass disguise for the rest of his life.
Like, what happened? Right? Because Christian Bale even says, like, oh, you want to see a magic trick? Pay close attention. Abracadabra. And then I'm assuming what he meant by that is that the trick is that his brother obviously is still alive, so they're going to see that he's still alive. So at that point, when they just arrest him again?
That's actually the surprise trick. It's the after credits scene. It's like, ta-da, transporting man.
And then they just arrest him again. Yeah. He burst through the prison doors like ta-da.
But then he pulls out his rubber ball, drops it, and then the cop's in the handcuffs. Then he runs away.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
Oh, all right. Any last thoughts for The Prestige, or is there anything else you want to discuss before we move on to the next segment?
No, I'm pretty much that. And just remember that if you were fooled, it's probably because you wanted to be fooled. You fool.
You damn idiot. All right, so in the spirit of...
Wait, go ahead. I can still hear you. Keep explaining it. I'm going to grab another beer real quick.
Okay. In the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to do this. Me and my brother, we do this thing whenever we talk, every now and then, where we cast movies that we would like to see, and then we talk about what actors we think would be good. Spoiler alert. Most of the time, we're going to say Rami Malek for something.
Only if it's Batman related, because he would just fit everything.
Well, here's another thing I think he would fit in. Are you familiar with the Addams Family?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to do an Addams Family casting. If we were to cast the Addams Family today.
All right, hold on. Let me pull up a picture of the Addams Family, because I'm not sure I remember exactly all who's in the Addams Family.
I have a picture on screen right now.
Oh, can you just share them? Yeah, okay, I got you. I see it.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of give you what I have so far.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Let's see. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. Okay. So, for Mr. Gomez, Rami Malek.
Okay. All right.
I think he'd be really good as Gomez.
Yeah, I can see that. He's just got a look about him.
He does.
He fits in with like everything.
Mm-hmm. Granted, he's a little young, but I'm sure they could age him up. Going to, what's her name? The wife. I forgot her name right now. Morticia. Thank you.
Okay.
A bit obvious, but I think she'd look pretty cool and pull it off. Is Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
She's a
Yeah.
little older, but like I said, they could age up Rami Malek.
A lot older, but
For
okay.
for Lurch, the Frankenstein guy, Bill
Okay.
Skarsgård. It.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
for Wednesday, I my mind went to Millie Bobby Brown. A little obvious, she might be a little old now, but if they're going for an
Hmm.
older one, probably her. I'm not
Okay.
100% on that.
Okay.
Um, going with Pugsley here again, a little too old. If they go with an older adaptation, Jonah Hill, I think would be pretty cool. Jonah Hill, but again,
Yo, you got my man Jonah Hill fucked up.
hey man, Jonah Hill. Okay, but and then for Fester, I actually have two in mind. Again, if we're
Okay.
going younger, Pete Davidson.
Okay.
And then if we're kind of sticking true to the age, John C. Riley, I think would be
Okay.
a good Uncle
Interesting.
Fester.
Okay.
I wish I was a little more prepared. I would have had pictures up or like a Photoshop, but that's for next
Okay.
time. The mom, I don't know, Betty White for fucking brownie points and
Holy
clout.
fuck.
And that's the cast. Oh, and if we're going back to Wednesday, if we are doing like an older adaptation, Aubrey Plaza would be sick as Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. I do like that. That's pretty cool.
Your thoughts?
Okay. I think it's a lot of practical choices here. Some of those actors I'm actually gonna use in mind.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to preface this with I have no recollection at all of really most of the character traits of the Addams Family characters. Like I know Wednesday is really like depressed and despondent, and I know Gomez is like kind of like super romantic or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not too familiar, but
if you're just going off, because okay, I think the '90s Addams Family is perfectly casted. I think, yeah, when I think those characters, I think these actors. So if you're going off just looks, even I'll accept that. Because they are very like dramatic characters to where I feel like any actor could pull off those type of roles. There's not really too much depth.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Sorry. One more cast. Instead of Rami Malek, if we want to kind of get closer to the age of Angelina Jolie, Oscar Isaac actually voiced him in the animated movie that just came out, and I think he'd be a pretty good Gomez as well.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
All right.
So, let's see. Okay, so for the dad, right, let's go ahead and do, who's the guy, what's the guy's name that plays, okay, how about for the dad, Orlando Bloom.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
That's a good one. Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, how about that?
That's good.
All right. Okay, and then
I like that.
For the mom, how about we do? Can you hover over when I say the characters? Can you hover over them so I just know 100% sure that's who I'm casting? Okay, so for that woman, let's do. I'm not gonna say Cher, but I was thinking that.
No, that's she's
a lot older though.
Yeah,
a lot older.
But
so
that's actually pretty good.
I
like that hypothetical though.
I also don't know if Cher can act.
She can. She's Mermaids, dude. She's been in movies. Mermaids is a really good one.
Okay. So I'm going to Toni Collette.
Toni Collette. I am blanking on what she looks like.
She's in Knives Out. Played the
let's see,
the liberal girl's parent.
Okay.
She was in Hereditary. She's really good.
Okay. I don't know if I'm fully on board with that, but okay. Tony Collette. Okay.
Tony Collette. Because she's a really good actress. Like, you give her a character, she kind of just dives fully into it. I love Tony Collette.
She does have similar bone structure to Angelica Houston, so yeah, okay, works.
Yeah. Okay. For the bald dude.
Okay, Fester.
Fester. I'm gonna go Seth Rogen.
Okay.
I just want you to imagine Seth Rogen laughing
as Fester.
Put it in that. Okay.
Okay, I like that. Okay, that works.
Now wait for this.
Okay.
Now wait for this. Tall guy, Frankenstein.
Yep.
We're gonna use CGI to make him a little bit taller, but I'm thinking Michael Cera.
I don't know about that
one. Okay, all right. Okay, now the bald kid to the right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so the bald kid to the right. Okay, him. Let's do let's do
You could do like kind of like what I did.
Wait. I got it. Okay. Go to Wednesday first.
Okay.
Because in order for my pick for him to make sense, you have to hear my pick for Wednesday.
Okay.
My pick for Wednesday, okay, this is gonna be a progressive one. All right, I want Zendaya as Wednesday, Adam.
Okay.
Okay.
We kind of got a taste of that in Spider-Man, where she's kind of like apathetic. And, are you gonna say fucking Tom Holland?
No.
The Indian guy?
The Asian guy.
I don't even remember him. Oh,
he's already
the friend.
He's already bald, and he's a little bit more on the bigger side, so it makes sense.
He actually lost a lot of weight.
Damn it! Well, he's gonna have to gain it back for this role.
But he's actually bald in real life, and he looks old as shit.
Exactly. So it works. Okay. Now, that person. Who is that?
The mom, the old lady.
Like the grandma?
Yeah, the grandma.
Okay. Danny DeVito. Okay.
Ricky said John Malkovich for Uncle Fester.
Can we do what's his face from It? What's his name? The guy that's he's in It. He's in Split. What's his name?
Oh. Fucking Professor Xavier. James McAvoy?
James McAvoy.
For Fester?
Yeah. We already know what he looks like bald. Twice.
You know
what? Two different franchises.
Actually, for Uncle Fester, if we're going progressive, fucking Samuel L. Jackson, baby. He's in everything.
Okay, and how about this? Another pick that I could have for actually, he might make a better Fester. Actually, now I think I was gonna say maybe another pick for the dad, but actually my other pick for Fester, because he's like kind of like a goofy character, right? He's like kind of the comedy. He's kind of the comedy relief.
Yeah.
My other pick for Fester is Daniel Radcliffe. You like put some makeup on him, just let him turn up and get loose. Like, I think Daniel Radcliffe would be really funny in that kind of role, because he's just a super funny dude in general.
Oh.
Have you ever seen Swiss Army Man?
No, I've seen the cover on Netflix.
We need to do the next one of these on that, because that movie is worth fucking talking about.
Actually, for sure. Colin Farrell for the dad. Could be pretty good.
Colin Farrell would be interesting. I still really like Michael Cera for the Frankenstein.
So initially,
That would be funny.
My first thought for the Frankenstein guy, because it's like, who the fuck is really tall and has like the proper bone structure? It was Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien's really tall, and he does have the bone structure.
Because that character doesn't talk. So if it was to just be Conan O'Brien as Frankenstein, it would automatically make me laugh.
That's why Michael Cera is perfect, because it's just so funny.
Phil Dunphy. Ooh, that's a good one. What the fuck is his name? Oh, I forgot his name.
Oh, okay. How about this? How about this for the tall guy? Again, you're gonna have to use CGI to make him a little bit more taller. But
or still,
how about
practical effects?
How about Jesse Eisenberg?
No.
No, I love it. I think Jesse Eisenberg, you make him all skinny and shit, like he loses some weight, like he did in Batman vs Superman, and you just let him grunt and stuff. I think he could add some personality to it.
Fucking Juno as Wednesday. The fuck's her name?
Oh,
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
I don't know enough like child actors to like cast him as like kids.
Neither do I, so that's why I'm going with Zendaya still.
Yeah, Zendaya is a good one. That's a good one. Can you imagine Zendaya in like pale white?
Dude, so good. It's cultural.
Amazing. Some pretty solid picks. I like that. A little mix and match of our picks. Cool. So there you have it. Our cast for the Addams Family. That's all I really had set up for this whole thing for tonight. That was fun though. That was really fun.
Can we do a horror movie next?
I'll think about it.
If it was for the stream, would you do it?
Possibly. We could even do a live watch.
Can I throw some safe recommend? Like not, I mean, I say safe, but like a little bit on the tamer. Well, I don't know if they're tamer or not, but like, there's some picks out there that I think you might enjoy.
So I actually have another section on our Discord for movie suggestions. So go ahead and drop them in there, and then also anyone that's watching, who's already a member of our Discord, go ahead and drop suggestions. I should actually probably link my Discord on my Twitch.
It might be beneficial.
But yeah, we'll definitely do that again. We'll definitely do the casting game again because that's always fun.
Yeah, it is.
So I think we'll probably end it here, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ricky, thanks for coming in clutch and watching the movie. You should have told me. We could have gotten you involved a little bit more. But I guess the next one, I'll make an announcement on the Discord, whatever movie we decide on that we're going to do this episode on, and then give a chance for everyone to watch it and then join in. So yeah, thanks to everyone. Austin, thank you so much for doing this with me. And
for sure.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.